Hi, second grade. It's been about a week since I've done one of these. I was very sick last week. It was such a weird week. So I appreciate your patience with me. I appreciate your time. I can see my hair's a little laying out there. Okay, so I want to talk to you today about presidents and patriots. This is your social studies for this week. Next week in your packets, there are packets for you in the boxes. So next week you will have one of these that you'll need to complete in order to get your social studies grade for next week. And there's also one in the packet for the following week. So I got your 2 weeks for May, and then that's it. That's all she wrote. So today we're going to talk about presidents and patriots. I froze for a second. Okay, presidents and patriots. So presidents are people who are in charge of something. There's presidents of companies, there's presidents of different corporations or of clubs. Those are all people who have the top job. They're the highest ranking job. In our country, we have a president of the United States who is in charge of all the other people below him, and they help him make decisions and he helps them make decisions. Patriots are people who love their country. We have a lot of patriots, people who served in the military, people who work very hard in our government. And even you can be a patriot because if you love your country and you're going to work hard to serve it, you can be a patriot. There is some rules to being the president. The first rule is you have to be 35 years old. So I am 35. So I could be the president if I wanted to. I do not want that job. That's too much responsibility for me. But you have to be 35 years old. You also have to be American citizen, which means you have to have all of the citizenship stuff that's important, and you have to be born in the United States. So you were born in Puerto Rico or you were born in Germany, you're not eligible to become the president of the United States. But if you were, let's just say if your dad or mom were in the military and you were born in Germany on an Air Force base or a military base, that is considered American. So you would be eligible because even though you weren't actually born in the country, you were still born part of the United States. And you have to have lived in the actual United States. So you could have been born in the United States and then your family moved to Russia. But you would have to live in the United States for 14 full years. So let's say you lived in Russia for most of your childhood and then you moved back. You still had to live in the US for 14 years to get reused to customs and rules and stuff. And that would make you eligible to be the president, which is pretty crazy. Okay, so there are some important people to talk about. The first one is Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson is the third president of the United States. He was after George Washington and John Adams, and he was a really important part of our country because he was really smart. He was an inventor. He made a lot of important things, discoveries, and he helped write the Declaration of Independence. And he died actually on the 4th of July, after 50 years after he wrote the Declaration, which is pretty crazy. James Madison, he was another president. He was born in Virginia. He helped write the Constitution. He was very important to helping us start our laws and our rules. And he also believed that people had the rights of citizenship, but also responsibilities. So just because you have the right to do it doesn't mean that that's it. You have to earn your right. You have to keep up with it. John Hancock is that big signature on the Constitution. He was a governor of Massachusetts and he was in Congress. He is well known because of his patriotism, because he loved our country so much. There was another person who's important in Texas. Her name is Irma Rangel. She was the first Mexican-American woman to be elected to the House of Representatives, and she knew school was important, and she wanted to make changes. So here is some pictures. This is Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, Irma Rangel, and John Hancock, and those were all important people for our country. Another really important thing to talk about is our Supreme Court justices. This is Thurgood Marshall. Thurgood Marshall was the first ever African American man to be elected to the Supreme Court, and that is a job that is nominated and given to someone, and you serve on that for the rest of your life. So when you become a Supreme Court judge, you're a Supreme Court judge forever. And he is really important to the African American community because he helps make sure that they get the same kinds of rights and privileges that people who are born with white skin are often afforded just because they were born with white skin. There is another thing that happened, and people who are patriots, people who love our country and wanted the best, they ran what was called the Underground Railroad. And so if you have ever heard of any of that, I think it's important that you learn, and there will be some YouTube videos to follow this one. I hope that you learned some things today, and I will see you later. All right, have a good day.